Welcome to the afternoon session of Vrindavan Dham Katha and Srila Prabhupada Katha. I'm sure everyone here knows who we have on the stage this afternoon. We're very, very happy at the last minute. We were able to get Loknath Maharaj. He agreed to come and speak. Saurabh Prabhu and Gunarnava Prabhu. I really don't think I need to say anything else. I'm very happy to have them all here, and I'm sure you are too, and we'll let them begin speaking immediately. So please give them a welcome here for being here today. And
Hare, 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 Hare. Gaur Hare. Sri Radhe. Sham. Srila Prabhupada. Sri Gaur Nitai. Radhe Sham. Nitai Gaur Radhe Sham. Jai Sri Krishna Balaram Ki. ॐ अज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः। मूकं करोति वाचालं पङ्गुं लङ्घयते गिरिं यत्कृपात्तमहं वन्दे श्रीगुरुं दीनतारिणम् परमानन्दमाधवं श्रीचैतन्य ईश्वरम् आराध्यो भगवान् ब्रजेशतनय तद्धाम वृन्दावनं रम्या काचिदुपासना व्रजवधूवर्गेण या कल्पिता श्रीमद्भागवतं प्रमाणममलं प्रेम पुमार्थो महान् श्रीचैतन्यमहाप्रभोर्मतमिदं तत्रादरो न परः। कृष्णाय वासुदेवाय देवकीनन्दनाय च नन्दगोपकुमाराय गोविन्दाय नमो नमः। नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्तस्वामिन्निति नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषशून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासदि गौर भक्त वृंद हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। Srila Prabhupada ki. What happened? Srila Prabhupada ki. Sri Krishna Balram Temple opening 40th anniversary ki. all the assembled devotees, Prabhupada Nugas ki, Nitai Gaur Premanande, Hari Hari Bol. Yeah, they are the ones they should have talked first. Saurabh Prabhu and Gunarnava Prabhus. They are the doers, I'm just a talker. But they are just now coming, so I'm ordered to say a few words. First of all, we are happy and thankful for ISKCON Krishna Balram Temple devotees, authorities for organizing this wonderful, wonderful festival. Krishna Balram Temple opening festival. Which is being attended by, well, lots of devotees, resident devotees, visiting devotees. And especially, I was told that close to 100 Prabhupada disciples are attending this festival. Over. I'm being corrected. Over 100 devotees. So this is very rare. This happened during Prabhupada's centennial days when we had organized a reunion of Prabhupada disciples. And once again it is happening. A lot of Prabhupada disciples, God brothers, God sisters are here, and amongst, of course, others, the grandchildren of Srila Prabhupada. Good that we have all come, assembled. The next anniversary, well, major festival, temple opening festival would be a 50th anniversary of Krishna Balram Temple opening. And let's see who makes it. Yeah, one Prabhu said, who knows, this may be the last time we are together in a big number like this. So many have departed and joined Srila Prabhupada already, and we are in the queue. I was just a thought that remembering Prabhupada, you cannot remember Srila Prabhupada without remembering his disciples or those who assisted him or even assisted him in big or small way. So when we remember Prabhupada, we are reminded of Prabhupada's followers. And when we remember Prabhupada's followers, we are reminded of Srila Prabhupada ki. It was 1972, just briefly going back into the history. Srila Prabhupada did 3 Bhumi Pujas. One at Mayapur, 72, during the first ever Mayapur festival. Then Prabhupada comes to Vrindavan. Then he had received this land to give or not to give. The chit was there in the front of the deity. And Lord, give it. Give it to Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. So he received the land and did Bhumi Puja. And then Prabhupada had traveled to Mumbai. And another Bhumi Puja had taken place. Remember? You were there. And that's where I had joined. That was 72 festival at Hare Krishna land. Surabhi Prabhu's yesterday he said he remembered me coming with the pant and bush shirt. In India we call bush shirt. So three Bhumi Pujas like within 1 month period. So same year 72 Karthik I came again to the first ever Karthik festival. Prabhupada was here for entire month. He stayed at Radha Damodar and we stayed at Kesi Ghat, that palace of Bharatpur, King Bharatpur, his palace, we were staying there. Prabhupada would send us every day with a kirtan from Radha Damodar to our property here. So that time I remember it was already a construction site. They started digging there was a design, there was plan, and the digging was taking place. That tamal tree was in the middle of to remain in the courtyard. Prabhupada purposely wanted to make sure that tree is protected, stays on. We would come with kirtan through Bhaktivedanta Swami Goshala. It wasn't there that time. Come to our land, pay our obeisances, roll in the dust of the Raman Reti on our property. And when we stood next to that tamal tree, it was same height as ours. And of course that tamal tree is not there now. This is second or third? Second tamal tree. Well then, so although things were starting in 72, there were delays because of the cement rationing or control over getting cement. There were some bureaucratic hassles, this, that, and the construction was getting delayed and delayed. They will tell you more about that. That time, yeah, they had little huts made of bricks and the roof on the top. And I think, of course, Prabhupada's quarters were not there. When Prabhupada stayed with them, they will tell you a little more about that. Right on the property, in the same huts, and he also took his bath in the open air. And but then finally the dates were fixed for the temple opening. Ram Navami 75, and not to be postponed any further. And so that year, 75, Prabhupada had gone after Vrindavan Mayapur festival. He took a big group of devotees to Hyderabad for a festival. And then some 200 devotees came directly to Vrindavan. And they were assisting in cleaning, etc. And then Prabhupada had also finally come, and he was very pleased. Finally, was very, very happy with the progress of the temple construction. It was ready to go, ready to be opened in few days from then. Prior to that visit, that was temple opening time, he was here some 8 months prior to that Krishna Balaram temple opening time visit. And within that 8 months, this 40-room guest house with a restaurant downstairs, all the 3 domes, and the rest of the finishing was all done within 8 months. Prabhupada was so much pleased upon his arrival. He immediately started inspection of the construction, and we're especially happy with the domes, and he asked assembled devotees, haven't the domes come very nicely? And devotees, yes, Prabhupada, they look very excellent. And that's the time Prabhupada said, you were there, and he said to you that everyone says that Surabhi is doing a good job, he has done good job, but it's my job to criticize him. Everyone else is praising Surabhi's job, but I'm the one. It's my job to find fault or criticize or rectify the mistakes. So, is it okay now? Yeah. And then I am. So, take over. Yeah, both of you.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. I came to Vrindavan in 1973 from Bombay on a second-class train and took another bus ride to Mathura, and then I don't know how we got to Vrindavan, but maybe a little train again.
Closer.
So, is that okay?
Yeah, better.
All right, sorry. And when I arrived, I was told to go to Radha Damodar, Mandir, because that's where all the devotees are staying. So I heard Guru Das is there, Jamuna. So I came there was nobody there. And this was in April, May, much hotter than today. And I was sitting in the shade on the roof, and then another devotee came in. His name was Cheta Guru. And we were waiting for hours and hours. All the doors were locked. And we were just wondering, are we in the right place? So we decided to go to the Jamuna. So we took our gamshas, and then we walked. It's not too far away. And then we took bath in the Jamuna. And then as we were swimming there and bathing there was a whole family of 3 Matajis and some other people. And they started all screaming, and we thought what's going on. So then I could understand that the other 2 people that were with us in the water, there was just 4 of us, they disappeared. They were under the water. They couldn't see them for a couple of minutes. So I told Chaitanya Guru, I said, well, they probably, have a problem. They don't have to swim. Because the Jamuna was quite violent. If you get into the stream, it just takes you away. The current is enormous. And there's huge turtles or tortoises? Turtles. They're about that big. And they are carnivorous. They eat anything they can eat. So I went 3-4 times down there, and I tried to go with the current, and we never found them. And of course there was a scene out there. So this was my entrance to Vrindavan. It always seems to be difficult. Even this trip when we came, We had a flat tire. We had to fix the tire. I missed the flight. And so I told to Ika, I said, well, you can't just buy a ticket here. You have to go through a lot of other things. Anyway, it was sort of going late in the afternoon. The sun went down, so we went to the temple. And then I saw Gurudas there, Yamuna. And then Gurudas, as always, very nice host, gave us the tour, and he said, tomorrow we go to the site. And I didn't even know there was a site already. So I was just told in Bombay that as the project was halted, they could not continue. So I had to go first to Vrindavan and build a temple there. So then I came on the rickshaw from Radha Damodar, and there were these little huts, and there was one short man standing there, and he wasn't like this. He was extremely slim. You could hardly see him, actually. So he was standing there, and he looked relieved, because he was told that, oh, now there's an architect coming, and he's going to take your misery away. So right away we clicked. We sort of got along very well. And then since then I've been working with Gunarnava. And then the stories will start. So he has made a list. He's very organized in this. So we're going to try to sort of speak together and speak to all of you at the same time.
Amagyana Timarandasya Gyana Gyana Salakaya Chakshu Shamilitam Yena Tasmaye Shiguruve Namaha. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. I think on the 25th morning, when I was giving Bhagavatam class, I did mention, quite quickly actually, 3 or 4 stories, which leads me on this afternoon to the first story, which was about when I arrived in Vrindavan. I arrived with Smara Hare. Is Smara here? Smara's not here. And we'd come from the Ramakrishna Mission hospital. We arrived in Vrindavan very late in the evening, and we met a sannyasi, Ramakrishna Hospital sannyasi, on the bus, and he offered to put us up for the night in the Ramakrishna Mission. So we stayed in a little room, and we were so excited. We couldn't sleep at all. We were just talking to one another, and we were listening to the sounds of Vrindavan. And as it got lighter and lighter, there were more and more sounds. It was incredible, and our hearts were pumping. It was it was a wet morning, and a rickshaw was arranged for us to go to Radha Damodar temple. And when we arrived, we met Bhavananda Maharaj. He was Bhavananda. He was a grihasta at that time. And he had this really long white kurta that came down practically to his knees. And it must have had at least 100 buttons down the front. It was a huge white button kurta. And Smara Hare and I had to sort of be, in a sense, interrogated, if you like, by Bhavananda. And he took whatever money we had, or possessions, they were confiscated. We had to give them over to Bhavananda Maharaj. So we were left with nothing. We began our journey in London on a one-way ticket on Syrian Arab Airlines. We arrived in Damascus, and then after that we came to Delhi, and we caught a third-class train to Vrindavan, and then that's where we met. When we got off the train, we met the sannyasi. So when we arrived, we were already very exhausted. We couldn't sleep the first night. And then we had that initial introduction of welcome to Vrindavan by taking everything off us. You know, we were like, already we were very renounced, you know. And then as the day unfolded, we met Guru Das and Yamuna. And there was another sannyasi there. His name was Subal Swami. And I always remember he had this huge tilak. You know the leaf of the tilak on the nose? Well, his leaf covered his whole nose. So it looked like he had a really bright white nose and then a couple of lines going up on the forehead. And he was a very intense personality. He wasn't that friendly at all, wasn't welcoming. So I thought, wow, this is a real beginning to our journey in Vrindavan. And just rolling on quickly over the next week or so, Prabhupada, even though he was not in Vrindavan, he had given instructions that we should go to the land as quickly as possible and have these huts erected. These huts were made of like a straw roof, and they were bricks and mud. And then we had them plastered or rendered inside and outside with cow dung. And we had a very simple cot, you know, those wooden cots with the string on the top. We had a cottage, and pretty much that was it, wasn't it, inside? We had a few possessions. I think I had 3 dhotis and 3 tops. That's pretty much all I had. And in I think it was 72, Kartik, where Prabhupada, he came to Vrindavan, and he was staying at his rooms in Vrindavan, at Radha Damodar temple. And he was giving the nectar devotion classes, and devotees came from all over the world to go to those classes. And I remember Subal Swami, he was actually in charge of the construction on the land. He also had a hut, and he lived there, and that kind of suited him a lot. And we started to attend Prabhupada's nectar devotion classes. And he was thinking that Prabhupada was going to go to the end of the book and start talking about the intimate pastimes between Krishna and Radharani. But actually, all through the series, and if you listen to those original tapes, it was all about second chapter of Bhagavad Gita, the analytical study of Sankhya philosophy, which went up to, I think, chapter 2, verse 19. And Prabhupada was very repetitive in what he said over a series of about 4 or 5 days. And that really agitated Subal, because he wanted to hear the nectarine pastimes of Radha and Krishna. So one morning, very early in the morning, he got up from his bed, and he changed, and he walked from the land on Chatikara Road. He walked all the way to Radha Damodar temple. It was about 2 o'clock in the morning. And I remember this very distinctly, because he was making so much noise next door, because the huts were joined to one another, that I sort of opened the door of the hut I was living in, and I saw him leaving. And when he returned, he related the story. So because he was upset about the content of the classes that Prabhupada was giving, he went to see Prabhupada at Radha Damodar temple. And he just burst in on Prabhupada. And Prabhupada was sitting up and he was translating. And Prabhupada said, "Oh, you have come." He says, it is so early in the morning. What can I do? Why have you come so early? And Subal Maharaj said, "Prabhupada," he said, "I cannot carry on in this service of being in charge of this construction because my mind is so agitated. I cannot chant my rounds. I cannot think of Radharani and Krishna. So please relieve me of this service. All I'm doing is signing checks, paying contractors, counting in materials, making sure things are done on time. And it's just not me, Prabhupada. It's not my nature to do this work. It's just disturbing my whole sadhana." So Prabhupada said to him, he said, when Krishna drove Arjuna's chariot between these two huge armies, and like I was saying the other morning, over 640 million soldiers were killed. Prabhupada said the Battle of Kurukshetra was the biggest battle over the last 6,000 years. What to speak of hundreds of thousands of soldiers that were missing in action because they were using mystical weapons, and there was so much action going on day to day. So Prabhupada said, do you think Arjuna was thinking in his chariot, he was sitting in lotus position, meditating on my transcendental form? Do you think that Arjuna was just meditating on Krishna and doing nothing else?
And he spoke very nicely, appreciating Prabhupada's preaching around the world. While the deities were getting dressed by the Omkara Prabhu. Huh? That was you? No, they made the dresses, and they made the dresses. You did the... Okay, Omkar, so many other... So, okay, Naranta was part of the team. So while the dressing was going on, their whole temple was packed and filled with, we are some 600 devotees and life members and guests coming from all around outside Vrindavan, and then local guests. Achyutanand Swami, Prabhupada made him speak. He spoke in Hindi, Achyutanand Swami, and that was appreciated. American Swami speaking in Vrindavan in Hindi language. This was a big applause and appreciation of him talking. Then this Gaudiya Maharaj spoke. He said, the Bhaktivedanta Swami's boundlessly compassionate heart that took him to the West and brought you all here today. I was talking about the Western devotees. Here in Vrindavan, we had no foreigners before. Today, for the first time, we are seeing so many from all nations. He was addressing like that. We are indebted to His grace, meant His divine grace. Srila Prabhupada just said His grace, for showing the world the true glories of India. Seeing this beautiful Krishna Balram Mandir and all these happy devotees, He has made this happiest day of my life. That day was happiest day of his life, as he was saying. Prabhupada spoke. Well, he said a lot, but towards the end he said this. This movement is undoubtedly increasing in the foreign countries, and why not in our country? He was questioning. They have taken it very seriously. They are not the CIA, not American, not European. They are Vaishnavas. They are the servants of Krishna. Don't misunderstand them and try to cooperate and help this movement for the benefit of the whole human society. So meantime, the deities were ready for the first time darshan. Because devotees had been seeing them for past several days during installation ceremonies, during Abhishek. But now for first time, they'll be dressed and crowned and the flute. And so everyone, devotees all around, before they were in the courtyard, around the temple, here, there. But as this time came closer for first ever darshan, everyone rushed, and whole temple was packed, and there was no interspace between devotees. It's totally packed. And Dinabandhu Prabhu remembers. He said he also stood in front of Krishna Balaram temple deities. I had a little different experience, and he had his different experience. He said there was a time that he was lifted by the crowd around, and effortlessly he was moved 15 feet this way, and before he could land his feet on the ground, he was taken another 15 feet in the back, and he thought he would be crushed, and who knows what happens next. So he managed to go to the courtyard, and that was a safe zone, he thought, and that's where he ended up. Then the first time, the conch shell blew, doors opened, and there was a darshan. Oh, everyone was appreciating. What Radha Shyam Sundar ki jai. I haven't seen any beautiful deities like this. And look at Krishna Balaram, how strong they are. And look at Radha Gaur Nitai, how munificent, magnanimous they are. Each one is, all devotees were appreciating different deities that they were looking at. And Prabhupada had offered that very famous first arati of Krishna Balaram. He had not taken off his kurta. He had his attire on. He had long garlands reaching his knees. And he was making, offering one article and then offering it to the assembled devotees. There was a bright smile on his face. The next article, the next time again offering to the devotees that article, his smile grew bigger. He was smiling more, and each time he turned around, I noticed he was smiling more and feeling very proud and like victorious, as if he has won the world, or that kind of feeling. We could read on his face. This is how I read that into his faces. Then there was a drama by Vaikuntha players, killing of Jarasandha, right in the temple hall. Prabhupada sat through the drama along with the Reddy, the governor, and from time to time Prabhupada would lean over to governor explained, this is this, this is that. After a few minutes, this is this. Just giving the whole running commentary to the governor. Then that evening, that was a first Gaur Arti of the deities, and there were 3 different devotees were going to perform the first ever Arti, and they together had to blow conch shells together, and everything had to be synchronized. And so first, one pujari came out, but his 2 others were missing, so he went inside. In the meantime, other 2 came out. The 2 who came out, then, hey, where's the 3rd one? So they went inside. In the meantime, the first one came out. So it took a few minutes for them, all of them, 3 of them, to be in the right place at the right time. And they offered. So Vaiseshika Prabhu offered Radha Shyam Sundar first Arati. Our book distribution incarnation, what is it? Tripurari Prabhu Maharaj, he was Swami, he offered Krishna Balaram Arati. And Sura Prabhu, Surdas from Los Angeles, he offered Gaurnithai Arati. And they were struggling to do it together. Vaisheshika told this to me, that when there was time to sprinkle the water, he was throwing water hither and thither, and he threw a little extra special water on the face of Tamal Krishna Maharaj, who was standing close to Srila Prabhupada. Tamal Krishna Maharaj had to take his glasses off and wipe it up. And then Prabhupada said, oh, I know Tripurari, but who are these other 2 pujaris? And Tamal Krishna Maharaj mentioned, they are such and such. But they are not regular pujaris, Prabhupada. They are big book distributors. And Prabhupada said, oh, I understand now. They are not pujaris, they are book. And they were honored or given this opportunity because they are big book distributors. They get to do the first ever Arati of Krishna Balaram. Next day, I remember on the morning walk, Srila Prabhupada was talking about Krishna and Balaram on the Chattikara Road, or Bhaktivedanta Swami Marg. And Prabhupada said, Krishna was flattering Balaram. Oh, Balaram, look at these trees. They are bowing down. They are sages, but they are bowing down to you. And look at this bird. They are singing your glories, like that. And then Prabhupada said, that Balaram now has come to our temple. Or that Krishna Balaram is here. Now if you have any difficulty, you could approach him and say, sir, such and such difficulty. And those sirs, this Krishna Balaram, they will take care. Now they are here. Krishna Balaram is here. So after morning walk, Prabhupada had come right on time for the greeting of the deities. And then Govindam started, and Prabhupada offered his obeisances to Gaurnithai, and he stood there. Obeisances, and he stood there. Those days having 3 altars, and that was, I don't know which other temple, Los Angeles maybe, or but they are like a compact, they're not small there. So devotees wondering what next, and Prabhupada goes to Krishna Balaram, and obeisances, stands there with folded hands, moves on to Radha Shyam Sundar, and devotees follow, and they also, Prabhupada is offering obeisances. Radha Shyam Sundar, obeisances, all other offer obeisances. And then, for first time, I think, Other temples, all temples had some Vyasasanas, makeshift or some kind of Vyasasana. But maybe for first time we had Singhasan for Srila Prabhupada. Singha means lion, and there are two lions there with their jaws opened, and I don't remember the name of the artist. He had really done very good painting, and they were really looking like a lively lions, and Prabhupada sitting in between them, practically sitting on the back of those singhas or lions, and delivered his first time ever Bhagavatam lecture in Krishna Balaram temple. Are you standing? That means Krishna Balaram temple opening 40th anniversary celebrations. Ki Krishna Balaram ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Nitai Gaur Premanande.
Hi, Haribo. Sometimes we preach, when we're preaching, we say that the anticipation of something we're about to do is generally more exciting than the actual event. But I know for me, the anticipation of this, which was very great, was definitely overshadowed by listening to the devotees here this evening, and I'm sure you all feel the same way. We're going to have to make another session somehow. We have all day tomorrow, which is Ram Nomi. And so in the temple room, Abhishek will be starting at 10 o'clock in the morning. So the program here, which we will still have a morning and an afternoon program, the program here in the morning will be starting at 11:30. So now I would ask everyone to please stay for another very wonderful presentation by my very dear godbrother and friend, Hare Prabhu, he's going to be showing you a slideshow of the Bhaktivedanta Research Center and explaining some of the things, what they do there. And also you're going to be seeing slides of the handwriting of Srila Bhakti Vinod Thakur and Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati, which they have their very handwritings and many other things as well. So in order to move things along, I'll turn this over now to Hare Prabhu. Thank you very much for being here, and look forward to seeing you all tomorrow. Hare Krishna.